Good afternoon. This is Dr. David A. Paget. This is the second segment of the May 12th class, Urban Geography, Maymester 2021. And so, again, just as we segue out of the last part of our discussion, I just want to mention that there are a couple of articles in the chat. The first article is about both articles are really about Nashville's 37208 zip code area. So just speaking of zip code areas, there was a recent study by the Brookings Institution that showed that the 37208 zip code area has the highest incarceration rate of any zip code area in the United States. Not in Chicago, not in New York, not in Detroit, not in LA, right here in Nashville. The zip code area where Fisk and Meharry are located has the highest incarceration rate of any zip code area in the United States. Like I said, speaking of zip code areas. So speaking of solutions and interventions, after this report came out with this finding, there have been any number of organizations, as it says, meet the activists and entrepreneurs attempting to transform the neighborhood. So you might see some form of solutions in this article, and there are a myriad of them. I think this is in the Dodge City. Yeah, that's Dodge City. That's Cumberland View, public housing, and some of the. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention that before we get into the class project, which is the story map. So I guess the question is, how's it going? Where are we? What is the, the main thing we want to do at this point is get this story map up off the ground. So who would like to give an update?
Well, right now, we have met separately. Oh, this is Carrington Powell.
Yes.
Right now we met separately. We met outside of class the other day, basically to confirm which parts. Make sure we had a confirm of which parts people was doing, because we had said it in our group meet, and we did that, and then we got 2 or 3 people on the mapping, and now we're focusing on the people who have the first 5 to 6 parts, so they can get their parts done, so the information can be given to the latter end, so we can get our group term paper together.
Okay, yeah, so obviously the main thing that needs to be done now is the map, to get the map. Well, there's two things that obviously need to be done. One of them is the, let me see, I'm trying to get this, let me share my screen. One of them is the, let's see, we've got a lot of things here. One of them is the map, and the other one is, of course, getting the various sections of the paper written. So let me ask about this. So have you all decided who's going to write which section of the term paper or sections?
Yes, we have already decided who's doing what.
Okay, so good. So whoever that is, you can turn in drafts anytime. just turn in a draft. So right now you're really looking at the literature review. And speaking of which, let me, goodness, let me just, just give me 1 second. In 1 second here. I gave you an example. No, that's not it. Just wanted to show you all something while I'm thinking about it. Okay, it should be in here. Where is it? Okay, this one. Yeah, so notice in this paper, there's a section that's the literature review, this food deserts papers. This kind of gives you an idea in case, you need, hopefully I'm not insulting anybody's intelligence here, but this is a good literature review here, this whole section. So essentially you're just going through what you've read in terms of articles that speak to the main objective of the paper, and you're just summarizing all of the articles that you have read, at least 10 that are pertinent to the assignment itself. And so that's what the literature review should look like. Just kind of a, here are various sources and what other researchers have found about, in this case, the Africatown project or Africatown redevelopment. There might be a literature review in this article, maybe not. Let me see. Maybe this might be more of an applied paper. Yeah, there's a methodology and study design. Yeah, I don't think we really got into an in-depth literature review, but that paper definitely has a very well-defined literature review. Just wanted to point that out in case you wanted to see an example of a lit review. Then, of course, there's a background section. You can see what should be there. Interviews, background on the community-based organizations involved. Mainly, in this case, it's Chess, and Chess is the main organization that. So that's obviously means talking to Mr. Womack. Has anybody been assigned with communicating with Mr. Womack and Miss Liz Smith-Enser?
Well, I had figured that maybe it would be better if not one person did it for the whole group, but as they needed, because I was for example, I was doing the background information and I was going to contact them today or tomorrow regarding trying to get basically a little interview to help do this. But do you think we should contact them as a group, or is it okay if different people contact them?
It's probably best that just one person take on that responsibility. That's the best way to do things in an organization, is to assign specific tasks to specific people. Because what does that say? Too many cooks spoil the broth. That's
Yeah.
true. You got, so yeah, just assign that singular, one task. I'm going to do this, you do that, you do the other, instead of saying, oh, we all going to do it, and then nobody does it, right? And then I thought you were going to do it. I thought so that's good. If that's what you're going to do, and if you're doing the background section, you're probably the best person to make that contact. And if you just, Mr. Womack will get back to you like right away, I'm sure. Miss Smith Inser, yeah, she's pretty responsive, especially since this is her project. So, and again, just, if you email them, just copy me on it, just so they'll know. Just keep me in the loop. Uh, I'm not trying to micromanage. Just want to, be kept in the loop. Um, anyway, that's a whole other story that has nothing to do with this class. But okay, so we have the writing sections assigned. Now, whoever is building the map should also at least assist or write the methodology. And again, it should be a step-by-step process. Now, I kind of have, I debated with myself on this, and I kind of gave you, the keys to the cupboard or whatever, keys to the car. But notice that amongst your materials is a story map tutorial. Now, I don't mind, and this kind of walks you through it. So I don't mind if, no, don't just straight snatch this. Okay, just make your own methodology. Also, very important. Maybe I'm hoping I'm not insulting anybody's intelligence, but everything should be written in the third person voice. No, I did this, I did that. So even this section should read kind of like what you see here. Not, it shouldn't be, even though in this case, I'm saying, I'm speaking to you as a student, but in your paper, you can't do that. It kind of has to be in that third person voice the whole way. But so you're giving instructions, but you're not really giving specific instructions. But I kind of walk you exactly through how to do the story map. You don't necessarily have to have screen caps like this, but you could have maybe an iterative step-by-step process. First, the pictures were obtained from blah, blah, blah. Each image was blah, 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 and like that. So these instructions might be even more detailed than you need to have yours. Even yours should be replicable. Do they have to be at this level of detail? Look, if you decide to make your methodology at this level of detail, fine with me. I'm not gonna knock you down. I'll be like, great, this is wonderful. I can't believe they had that level of detail in a 3-week class. But you really should. Whoever follows you should be able to do this. But also, whoever's building the map, here's a tutorial. Ordinarily, I believe in just throwing people in the deep end of the pool and hope you can swim. But we only have 3 weeks, so I don't have time to really let you teach yourself GIS in this class. Kiana, you have a question?
You kind of answered it, but I was just gonna ask if you wanted it in the list form because on one of the documents you showed us, it was in the paragraph form, but you prefer us to put the methodology in like list.
Yeah, a portion of the methodology can be in bullet form. That's fine. Like I said, that's fine as long as it's an iterative process. Do you have to have the screen caps? Look, if you want to put screen caps as you walk through this, I'm not going to stop you from doing that. Do you have to do it? Not really. But because, well, actually, yeah, you can just put the steps in. This is really an instructional document here, not necessarily a methodology document. So in the methodology, you really should go chronologically through the steps. Where did you get the photographs from? How did you get the photographs? Obviously, the photographs should be in the methodology section. I think it's in that section. Is that what I said? Let's see. Make sure, blah, blah, blah. That's Yeah, so each one of your photos should be in this section, and then the maps themselves are in the results section. Photos, methodology, maps that are actually created of each of the sites, 14 points of interest, should be in the results section. Like I said, don't worry about how long this paper is. Back in the day when we used to print term papers out, we worry about, wasting paper. This is all going to be digital. This thing can be as long as you want it to be. Don't worry about that. It can be 50 pages. Don't worry about it. We're just using bits and bytes here. So, okay, so we have, so for right now, you should, be well on the way to getting the meat of the paper written. Again, turn in drafts, even if it's just your section. Just Dr. Padgett, can you look at this? And you all have been doing a pretty good job of that, and I've been trying to keep up. Even though it was difficult, I got that first shot, that first vaccine last week, and I thought, it's not going to bother me, but it kind of bothered me. But I think I'm okay now. Okay, so then once the map is created, then we can get into the discussion, conclusion, and between the 10 or 11 of you, you all should figure out how to do have a good works cited piece. See, something's in the chat.
So you mentioned how you want us to say where we got the pictures from. Like, can we mention if we were to get the pictures from Mr. Womack and everyone?
I mean, just like that. The photographs were obtained from Mr. Joe Womack, who is blah, 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 blah. Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
If the pictures were geo-referenced and taken on an iPhone, fine. Now, okay, here's what always have a plan B, okay? So plan A is to get fresh photographs from Mr. Womack. That's plan A. Or even Miss Smith Insert, she might have some photographs. At the same time, you should be doing, remember what we were doing the other day, kind of going online and looking for photographs, and we were rushing. I really wasn't taking my time, but at the same time, just in case, in the next week, you don't get any photographs, and you might not, always have the backup plan, which means you go online and scour the internet for pictures of those sites. Even if they're bad pictures, at least you will have that, and give yourself a deadline. If we don't have pictures by Tuesday, we're going with what we got, okay? Because I know, when you're working with people in the community, you're on the people in the community schedule, right? Right now, Mr. Womack and Chess are laser focused fighting against this new bridge, this new toll bridge that they're getting ready to build. So they're all about that right now. Yeah, they're concerned about this Blueway, but the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice attorney emailed me. We had a meeting. I mean, we're all boots on the ground fighting against this toll bridge right now. So it's kind of frustrating as a person who is working in the community when things literally go left or right or whatever direction, and you're like, I got a paper due. Mr. Womack, don't say that to him, okay? Don't say that. While you're trying to get the fresh photos, also scour the internet for some, what do you want to call them? Not fresh, leftover photos. Yeah, leftovers. And sometimes leftovers are good. I had some leftover shrimp fried rice the other day. Sometimes, anyway, but just always have a plan B. So while you trying to get those fresh photos, look for the ones for each of those 14 sites. You can find, you're gonna have to dig. Remember, I was trying to find them and I was like, man, I can't believe I can't find this stuff, but I was rushing. You might have to scour social media. Almost every place, park, restaurant, et cetera, has some kind of social media page that has all kinds of photographs on it. Even if you can't find anything else, if you can find, the social media for whatever, they'll have pictures that are current, like for the park or for whatever. Even for some chess might have social media. I haven't looked for it. But have a second set of pictures. Personally, I don't care where you get the pictures from at this point. Okay, they can be placeholders for when we get the real pictures. Okay, so, but at the end of the day, we want to have something next, was it Thursday? When you do your presentation, you want to have, you don't want to have a blank map. I guess it's related to the class. Almost exactly a year ago, I was approached by the Historic Black Towns and Settlements Alliance, right? And so they are an organization. As a matter of fact, let me pause.